people that you're socializing with. So I'm starting the live stream today and hoping that we can all connect. There we go. We are live in that you're socializing. We're live in one channel, we're live in the other channel, and here we go. So welcome to another live with Teresa Palm, and today's topic is mastering the art of small talk. This is a very important skill because we would like to help you improve your connection with the people that you socialize with. I tell all my students that this is one of the most important skills really in networking, when you're connecting with colleagues, when you're attending conferences and socializing in business or in the academic field. So what is the art of small talk? So let's start with the definition. The definition of small talk is that trivial conversation that takes place when you meet someone for the first time, and the objective is really to connect emotionally to that person. So in this brief session, we will learn how to create rapport through small talk, which is the connection, the emotional connection, how to spontaneously start conversations, how to maintain stimulating conversations, change topics gracefully, end conversations tactfully. Just, don't say just like, oh, I gotta go. So really kind of like put an end to your conversations and finally converse with confidence, which is what we want when we want to improve our English skills. What we really want is to make our presence greater and help people remember us, because we really connected at another level. It was not just words. And speaking of that, speaking of just not words, there was an experiment one day that this President Franklin Roosevelt made. He was entering the room and he just kept saying, nice to meet you. I murdered my grandmother this morning. And, I murdered my grandmother this morning. And everybody was like, oh, nice to meet you. So how many times has that happened to you? You mumble your name. Hello, my name is Hello, and that's what we hear. We just hear a mumbling, and we could have said anything like, I murdered my grandmother this morning. And people go, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And of course, across the room, there was always somebody that did pay attention, that did notice. And that person said, oh, I'm sure she had it coming. So if you can see that rapport, if you can feel that the other person is trying to connect, I'm going to give you ways so that you can create small talk and create a friendly atmosphere. So like we said before, small talk is light. It's a light and a casual conversation that avoids obscure subjects. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religion, football. Don't be so argumentative. Just avoid those topics that have emotionally charged issues. Because when you have small talk, it creates a friendly atmosphere. And it's the best way to get to know someone, to create a positive first impression, and to gain self-confidence. I think that small talk is one of the most important skills, like I said, because it's how you start your conversation and you connect. You can build a relationship. If you discuss general topics such as movies, music, theater, sports, book, travel, ask and answer any question. Send the message out there that, yeah, I want to talk. I'll have a conversation with you. I'll get to know you. And so when you make casual conversation, other people that are maybe shy can conclude that you're open to a conversation. We can do this. So in informal, when we do small talks, there is an informal exchange of basic conversation. there's an exchange of basic information in small talk. Small talk enables two people to learn about each other, to find out, for example, where you're from, what you love, your dreams, to know, something, a fun fact about you, something that was really, that you can, some people say, no, let me tell you something that nobody knows about me, or that you would never think about me. So that is basically small talk. That is the exchange that we need to create. And so how do we come into a conversation prepared for small talk? So I've already talked about what it is. So I think that the first step to master that art of small talk and connecting with people is before the event or before the conversation. I would say before today, today's the best way to start. I want you to identify several interests and experiences that you are willing to discuss. So think about this. You're always going to be socializing. What are topics that you will be interested in talking about? If it's a business or more academic atmosphere, you might not want to include family or something too personal. Try to include, like, your hobbies, the surroundings, look around and find things that you might find in common. The weather is always a good topic. But then find individuals who seem receptive. Now, this is step number 2, and it's not so easy because you have to use your intuition. You have to look around and say, okay, who is going to be someone who would be open for a discussion? And that is intuition, and it's really hard to explain more than just what I just said. But the step number 3 is to establish eye contact. You smile, you send receptive signals of openness. You're smiling, you say, yes, hi, I'm available for conversation. And then maybe you can be the first person to come in and introduce yourself and ask, for example, an easy, open-ended question, not like, what, where, when, or how, but more like, do you think that, or have you noticed, or so just something that is kind of easy to engage in, and listen carefully to the other person's name. Use it in conversation. So the first time you're shaking hands and you hear the person saying, yes, my name is Peter Smith. And you're like, well, yes. So then Peter or Jane, you refer to that person's name all throughout the conversation. And that really gives you that sense of bond, you're connecting. And then practice the active listening, because you listen carefully for facts. You listen for keywords, listen for feelings, listen for implied statements. So yes, we have to use all our senses in mastering the art of small talk. We need to be receptive, and we need to understand that some of our interests or some of our experience may not be the same ones as the one we are talking to, but you can disclose that information. You can talk about it, but just not so passionately or not so argumentative. What you really want to do is just connect. Find interest in the other person's experience. Encourage the other person to talk and ask the person, really, how about you? So that's the secret formula. I tell everybody this, that how about you is kind of like the key to a really good conversation. But then you do have to listen attentively and find mutual interests, highlight them. So if you find in a conversation, you have someone and you see that person is really not the same, you have opposite, find something else. Like I said, look around the room, talk about something that is mutual. Just there is lots of work in terms of, you have to do your work to get this going. It doesn't happen naturally. It's something that you acquire and then you can master. And finally, we have to restate something that you found interesting in the conversation and end with an invitation to meet again. So I've seen people who just say, oh, they look at their watch and they say, oh, I gotta go. So that is not a good way to end a conversation. I think that a conversation should end with like, well, that really was an interesting anecdote you talked about when you went to Ireland, for example. And you know what? I recently went to Spain, so I'll tell you about it next time we meet. It's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you and see you again soon. So I hope that all of these tips have helped you to, kind of get the basics of what is small talk. Small talk is a basic networking skill, and it helps people connect, to bond emotionally and create good relationships. So please make sure that people are interested in the topic before you talk too much about it. Find the balance between talking and listening. Find out what people enjoy discussing or what people enjoy talking about, right? And if somebody doesn't remember you, reintroduce yourself to old acquaintances. Sometimes you meet with people and it happens that these people are like, oh, I don't remember you. Oh yeah, remember we went to school together. So that is a good way to connect with people. Now, don't indulge in endless talk and gossip and all of this. Don't go into this long conversation with people that you don't know too much. Obviously, don't gossip about other people. And also something important is that when you are in a networking, staying in the same area with the person is not going to help you to create more connections with the people that you're interested in. So look over the shoulder and try to find, like I said, let's go back to that step where we're saying, find the person that you might feel is receptive for your conversation and go on and say hello to the other person. Thank you so much for our attention, for your attention of our topic today. I really want to keep in touch and know what we can do to help you become a confident bilingual professional in your area of expertise. Contact me and feel free to discuss any concern that you might have so that we can find ways to help you achieve your goals, communication goals, and professional goals in English, and become a confident bilingual professional. So thank you and bye for now. I'm going to stop this screen sharing and I'm going to stop the live.